All right. Welcome, everyone. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the other part of real estate. Many of you, I know, are new to the real estate game. You have been learning how to get your real estate license. Perhaps you just recently did get your license. In that process, they teach you a lot about the rules and regulations of real estate, primarily how not to get sued, right? Tonight, what we're going to do is teach you how to make money in real estate, how to be successful in the game, how to do it in a relationship-based way, and then how to retire from the business in the fashion, living in the fashion with which you'd become accustomed to when you were making a lot of money in real estate. So we call this class Success in Real Estate. It is prepared for new real estate professionals entering the profession. And we're going to be talking about 3 different segments of your career. We're going to talk about your launch. We're going to talk about becoming a local market expert. And then we're going to talk about your exit strategy. So speaking to launch, people ask, what am I going to do? What do I do to prepare for success? And what can I do while I'm getting my license? Because as I'm sure you've learned by now, you cannot be speaking to the consumer about matters regarding real estate and giving them advice in any kind until you have a real estate license and in the state with which you're giving that advice. But one thing you can do is organize your sphere of influence. You're probably going to hear that most agents work by referral. And I will tell you that's the best way to work in this business. It's also the best way to defend against the technology that is coming into our industry. It's the best way to not be disintermediated. It's the best way to have great client relationships, have loyal clients, and just really have an enjoyable career. So what we want you to do out of the gate right now is go into your text messages, go into your contacts, look at your Facebook friends, your LinkedIn contacts, your Twitter followers, your Instagram followers, and we want you to come up with at least 120 people and put these in separate columns in an Excel file, their name, their phone, their email, their address, their owner status, do they rent or do they own, and their careers. One of the things that you're going to be asking them to do is to think of you when it comes to real estate. You're going to strive to be their real estate resource and their realtor of choice. One of the best ways that you can do that is by referring them business. So be sure that you're paying attention to the careers of the people in your sphere and connecting them to valuable resources and referring them whenever possible. Once you join a company, for example, at EXP, we provide all of our agents KV Core, which is a great contact management system that also provides you websites and squeeze pages so you can generate leads and such. And you'll be transferring that data from Excel into KV Core, but I don't want you to worry about that right now. I just want you to get it into Excel so that it's easily transferable when the time comes. The next thing I want you to do, and again, these are all things that you can do before you have a real estate license, is I want you to choose a zip code about a 10,000 rooftop area where you're going to call your market. This area should be within 15 minutes driving distance from your home. It should be an area that you're familiar with. It should be an area where you patronize the local businesses that you know well. And what I want you to do, you've very likely been invited here by one of our mentors. I want you to get with your mentor and I want you to ask them to pull up the closed sales from January 1 until today. And have them print out a detailed printout of that. And then I want you to look at the description of those properties. And more importantly, I want you to drive every single property. So you will have seen in person every property that has closed since January 1 when you began your real estate career. Now, what's awesome about that, by the way, is that you're probably going to know market values when you get your real estate license, at least in that little segment of the world, as well or better than most real estate agents. And this is super important because the number one reason, according to NAR, that a consumer chooses a realtor is trust, okay? One of the best ways to establish trust is to be knowledgeable. And by the way, that's the number two reason that they choose. So if you can be knowledgeable about your local market, then you're going to be positioning yourself with some of the key factors that cause a consumer to choose you or not. In addition to those closings, once you get your license, I want you to also go look at the pending sales. You also, because those are in escrow and they've been recently sold, you won't be able to go in those either, but I want you to drive them. And then I want you to have your mentor put you on what an IDX search. They'll know what that is. And what we want you to do is into your email have delivered every new home that is coming on the market in that territory. So not the whole county, not even multiple zip codes, but just that one area. And once you get your license, you'll actually be able to preview those properties. By the way, one of the things that we do once we are mentoring the agents is we'll have them time block. And this piece of the business, which is local market knowledge, we will have you time block 4 hours a week to preview property. And that will ensure you'll be one of the most knowledgeable realtors in your marketplace. I'm going to check the chat real quick. And I am recording. Yes. Okay. So again, in preparation for your license, I want you to do a couple more things. Virtually every real estate company, by the way, has some sort of mentor program. I can assure you they are not all created equal. Even at our company, which I think has one of the best mentor programs, it's, in my opinion, still sorely lacking. And therefore, we created our own. And I have combined my Pro Insight productivity coaching with the mentor that has invited you here. And together, we believe that we provide a really ideal launch for a real estate professional that's committed to success. And so I want to give you just a couple questions to ask when you're evaluating your mentor, okay? One thing is your mentor have a career that you would like to model after? So be interested in who they are and what they've done. Second thing is, what does their mentorship entail? Like in the case of our program, your mentor will be available to help you to understand the contract, how to make deals, how to save deals. And most mentor programs will do that. I want you to go one step further, and I want you to ask about the listing presentation. Because in sales, we work with buyers and sellers. Most people are pretty comfortable working with buyers. Sellers, on the other hand, requires the articulation of an intangible value proposition. You're basically selling yourself and your services. And so in our mentor program, one of the things that our mentors do is go on the first 2 listing appointments with you. And so that you can see that mentor in action articulating a listing presentation, and then they have the opportunity to be there as you do it and support that effort. And that can get you quickly into the listing game much more rapidly than would normally occur. Another key partner and a professional that I will have on future success in real estate webinars as we go forward is a lender. It's a really critical piece of the business. I would encourage you to meet with, have coffee, talk to a variety of lenders. Your mentor, again, can introduce you to some really wonderful ones. They are not created equal, or at least they don't serve that way now. And so you want to make sure that you get a lender that has the same relationship-based approach to business that you do. You want to make sure they're fully committed. Of course, that they work at a company that has a great support structure, that has competitive rates, and because that is going to greatly influence your ability to satisfy your customers. I'd also add a third professional in this pre-licensing phase, which is a title rep. They can be an incredible resource for great tools to access property information on homes that are not yet on the market. And we have a variety of strategies that we will teach you to market for off-market homes, and the title rep can connect you to that. Those tools, they can also introduce you to an escrow officer, which will act as the hub in your real estate transactions. So I'm going to move on now to the next phase, but before I do, I would like to get a little comment from one of our mentors that just talks about how you show up in this business, because I'm talking here, I told you the first thing you want to do is get this database so that you set yourself up as a relationship-based agent. Sheldon, are you able to mute yourself and just speak to what it's like to work a referral business? Because you're one that has done that at a very high level. I know $20 million last year, but could you speak to how you've managed to get so many referrals?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the biggest part of that is, making sure that you're present, right? It's not just getting in there and being transactional and being done with the deal. It's digging a little deeper and, kind of establishing more of a meaningful relationship with those clients. And, I kind of started with the little mantra of, every client I have, we just treat like absolute gold, right? Whether it's a $40,000 mobile home or a, $5-6 million ranch. And that way, once you get through with these and you're done with them, it's just another cheerleader in the community. And that's the most important part. But then, it's staying present after the fact. It's, being willing to do the things that aren't always going to get you paid. And, kind of subtly continuing to stay, present in their lives and dropping, items of value to them, over the years.
Absolutely. Speaking of post-close, I think there's some NAR statistic, which is an acronym for National Association of Realtors. Something in the neighborhood of 82% of the realtors do not have contact with their clients after the close, which is just absolutely insane. And
well, I think,
go ahead.
I was going to say, agents are always so worried, right, about getting to that next client, the next deal. But it's if you focus on that current one, that's the one that's going to lead to your next deal.
Absolutely.
And that's, I think, more important than anything. And it pays dividends, right? Just continuing to do that. I mean, I've got families that, I probably sold 13 or 14 different properties to because, it's do the deal with somebody and then you're doing it, for their kids or their uncle or their aunt. And, it all comes though from service first.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, and to that point, every single person, particularly professional, has about 150 people that they know that are in their sphere of influence, right? And so if people move every 10 years, they've got somewhere in that sphere of influence, they've got 10 to 15 people moving. And so if they're a raving fan of yours, boy, you're in a fantastic position to enjoy referrals. Even though they may not move for another 7 to 10 years, they certainly have, they probably have someone in their sphere moving every single month. So great to keep in mind. And Sheldon, thanks for chiming in on that.
Absolutely.
And
If I,
congratulations on the
if
success.
I could, if I could just add, Sheldon, you gave me an aha right there. That is, you have to be willing to do things that you won't always get paid on. And that was a shift. When you just said that, a light bulb went on. A lot of people come from a different industry where they're used to trading dollars for time. It's as simple as that. So they're not always primed to do work that you're not going to get paid on, but that's a very common thing. So thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, and I think that's really about planting seeds. A farmer doesn't get to plant the seed, but the harvest in the same day, although some realtors would like to have it that way. You plant the seed, you nurture it, you water it, you weed the ground, you do what it takes in order to have that harvest many months out. And so for those that can nurture that sphere of influence, it's an incredible business. And we teach ways that you can stay in touch coming from a position of contribution, even when you're a brand new agent, showing up as a real estate resource and being of value to them. All right, now we're going to go into becoming a local market expert. This is my favorite subject. And so the foundation of being a local market expert is building your sphere, personal and professional, out of this area that you've chosen. Now, you're not going to be able to completely control that because obviously a lot of people that don't live in that one little zip code, okay? A goal to strive for, and this is probably ambitious, but a long-term goal is you want 300 people in your sphere of influence that consider you, and this is worth writing down, their real estate resource and realtor of choice, okay? And ideally, 50% of those will be in your home market. You separately want to have 25 professionals. What am I referring to? I'm referring to a lender, a CPA, a financial advisor, an attorney, an insurance broker, a painter, plumber, roofer, landscaper. Think of those professionals on the home improvement side that what do people do right before they're going to sell their home, right? They paint it, they landscape it, they remodel it, they redo the flooring, they trim the trees. Those are the professionals you want to be tied to. And then we teach you how to train those professionals, how to ask the consumer questions when they need those services that will bubble up listing referrals for you. Next thing is we're going to show you how to do a hyperlocal digital marketing campaign. There's a variety of different methods to do that, Facebook, Google, and so forth. We integrate that with KV Core. It is remarkable how affordable it has become. As a matter of fact, make a note, tomorrow I'm doing, for those of you that have your license or are in your course now, so you may not have your license, but you are going through your course, we will allow you to come to our Pro Insight training on Tuesdays, which is at 3 p.m. And tomorrow I'm interviewing the CEO, Brian Clark of Be Known Advertising, and one of his top clients. And I did a little pre-interview today with Manny. He's a fantastic agent out of Florida. And he was telling me today he was generating buyer leads for $2.50 to $3 a piece, and seller leads for less than $6 a piece, which was even more impressive. So, and then aside from that digital marketing, of course, everybody's into social media these days and trying to be some kind of video star of sorts. That's not exactly my cup of tea. If you've got that personality, more power to you. All I want for you really is don't be a secret agent, okay? And let people know in a classy way that you are a real estate professional, oftentimes catching yourself in the act of actually showing homes or something like that. Maybe there's a particular sunset that was beautiful while you were out showing a property. That's a great image to put up on your social media, for example. We're gonna also train you on how to do, pursue for sale by owners. That's FSBO is an acronym for that. Expired listings, those are properties that others couldn't sell. And then right now, especially, a fantastic way to get business is to talk to people that have homes for rent. We're very late in the real estate appreciation cycle, so maybe they would consider selling if they don't find a renter that fits their needs. And again, we're just focusing on doing those things in your home territory, that zip code of about 10,000 rooftops. Now, open houses, we have a fantastic open house program. Strongly recommend you do that. During these times of COVID, we've had to learn how to do virtual open houses. And actually those can be intriguing because you can have people register for those. We've got landing pages set up with our KV Core where you can capture name, phone, and email, get people to register, and those can be fantastic as well. If you can do it in person, I like that even better. And then you can circle dial, which is, calling the neighbors in the area. Again, we have access to the databases that can get you that information, and or door knock to promote that open house. So to my mentors that are on the call, I know, Charles, I think you're with us. Do you want to speak to some of these marketing strategies that we deploy in our mentor program?
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. Forgive me, I'm on vacation, so I'm not in my normal work mode. But
you're not doing a very good job to be on vacation if you're on this call, by the way.
It's a working vacation.
Okay.
But so I started real estate 20 years ago. I was coached by Brian Buffini. Since then, I've been coached by pretty much every top coach in the country. And boy, Don's program, I've never seen anything like it. It gives you action steps along the way that no one else provides. And they're so clever. And they just, in some cases, just a little tweak. It's like a 10% change or even a 5% change from the way that you were making your calls before, or a follow-up step that it had never occurred to me to take that led to additional deals. So it's a very solid program, and it's absolutely what I had been looking for years before we met. And even though I've been in business for quite a while, I was in the top 10% my first year back in the year 2000. It's very helpful to have a plan that's as clear as his and as successful as his. It makes it fun. So I've been
Awesome.
Thank you, Don.
Well, thank you, Charles. And I mean, they should know, I mean, you've been a real estate professional for 20 years. And like you said, you've been a top producer, and those other programs that you participated in are well-known, and they're very good. This training that we provide, the productivity coaching piece of it, I have refined by coaching the #1 Keller Williams agent in the world, and just a lot of other really fantastic people. And like Charles just said, oftentimes it's the same basic idea, but just with a little more distinction in it, maybe a slightly different phrase. And one other thing, and this is worth writing down, in your career, when you are engaged with a prospect, do not leave the scene of that interaction without another appointment. If you can do that one thing, you will find your career will be so much more fruitful. You'll end up chasing people far less and just be a lot more successful. But Charles, thanks for chiming in there. Okay, now we're going to talk exit strategy. This is something that almost nobody thinks about. We do, okay? When we sit down with a new apprentice, one of the things that we want to talk about is beginning with the end in mind. Fantastic book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Stephen Covey, a 25-year bestseller, talks about beginning with the end in mind. And so you should know when you go into this business how much business that you want to do, okay? That could be a sale a month, 2, 3, 100,000, 250,000. Some of you will strive to make $1 million in a year. Whatever that number is, it's important that you make a plan. Okay. And I would say a 1 year, a 2, and a 3. And then also, I want you to think about when you want to be in a position to actually leave the business. Now, we're going to talk more about that in a second. But when you're making your plan, I want you to do just a couple things. One is whatever amount of money that you earn, I want you to set up a self-directed retirement account, okay? A CPA, financial planner will know what that is. Better to actually go to a CPA probably. And this is different from a normal 401k. It's kind of like the independent contractor's version of a retirement account. The government allows us as real estate professionals to set aside 15% of our income into this retirement account. And by doing that, we actually reduce our taxable income and create a little fund for which you can invest. As a real estate professional, we want to encourage you to invest in real estate. Now, that can take 2 forms. That can be in the form of actually buying rentals. Be careful on the timing a little bit there. We're pretty late in the cycle right now, but there are times when that is fantastic, and there will be a time. Well, and I will say it does vary a little bit geographically as well, but I think in 2-3 years from now, it'll be another fantastic time to be buying into income property, and also doing notes secured by deeds of trust. And so doing private loans on properties. And so through our program, we can align you with cash iBuyers. We can team you up with investors where you can invest a small portion and get a pretty extraordinary return. And so just know, whatever you earn, you want to ideally put aside 15% into the self-directed retirement account, which again is also going to save you money on taxes. Speaking of taxes, save 20% of your income to make your quarterly quarterly deposits for taxes. Not being a W-2, you're going to be responsible for allocating that portion with which you have tax liability. Again, a CPA can help you plan with that, but my suggestion is that you set aside 20% of your income. So now you're operating on 65%. And so when you're making your plan for how much money you want to earn, make sure that 65% is enough to support what it is that you want to, how you want to live your life. And so in our program, we have a couple phases. You start off as an apprentice. Our goal is to quickly get you up to 1 sale a month. We want you achieving that by your 4th month in the business, and then averaging at least a sale a month after that. In year 2, we'd like to see you doing 2. Year 3, doing 3. In our company, that gets you what we call the Icon Award. And because we're in an agent-owned company, that provides you stock for your selling activity. If you achieve that Icon level of production, then you get your entire cap back. The amount that you would pay to the broker, you get back in stock in equal amount in that year. So you're basically treated like a partner. And so as you're going, you're earning this income, you're accumulating stock, and then once you've gotten up to a place where you're doing these 2-3 sales a month, if it is a desire of yours, we'll show you how to become a mentor yourself and begin to build your own team. And so then you can earn additional income. Like you're essentially, you know what it is? You're really like a broker without the broker liability and capital risk. And our platform enables you to do that. And then the way that we show you how you build your production team simultaneously helps you to build a real estate organization. Some of us, myself included, have managed to build several hundred agents on the platform and now enjoy a healthy 6-figure income, a recurring income, so that we can choose not to work. Now, I'm not suggesting you take an early retirement. I'm not wanting to push you out of the business. I simply want you to be having that thought process in your mind from day one. And I want you to be aware that it's possible for you as a brand new agent to come in this business, get yourself quickly up to an annualized six-figure income, eventually say $250,000. And within 5 years, if you follow our strategies, become a mentor, build your team, and then ultimately a sales organization, have enough a six-figure recurring income where you could then choose to exit if that was your desire. Again, don't want you to have a premature retirement, but I want you to have the option. So again, that is my message for today. I'm happy to take a couple questions. If you guys want to put a question in the chat, I'll monitor that here for a second. And if a mentor wants to chime in, I'm happy to have that as well.
Yeah, I'll chime in on that one, Don.
Let's hear it.
To me, that is the most exciting and important thing that you talked about. I see why you saved it for last. The beginning with the end in mind, and that I am passionate about that, and I just want to share two reasons for it. Just generally in life, I'm in my mid-30s. I've got 5 kids, and I will be talking consistently. I really enjoy talking with someone who's in their 70s or 80s. And you know what I say to them? Well, I'm right behind you. And they laugh and they say, oh, come on now. And I said, you know, it's true. And they say, it is true. I was there yesterday. And my thought there is that it goes so fast. And I think that is so key, especially with real estate, to focus on the end. Because I always ask people, I'm always curious, where'd you come from? What industry did you come from? What brought you to real estate? And overwhelmingly, I get responses like, well, everyone said I'd be good. I love people. I love to talk. Everyone said I'd be good at this. And my takeaway from that, and from what I've seen and observed in the industry, real estate people are typically good salespeople. They're people, but they are not good business people by nature.
Right.
They don't plan and save. So I love that you highlight the investment strategy, make a plan, and building a business with recurring income. That is so it is so overlooked in our industry and very needed. So I mean, I could go on, but that is something.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I chime in just for a second here?
Have at it, Doug.
All right. So thank you, Don. And just so people have a little background about myself, I'm a broker, been licensed in real estate since '94, and tax savings and the end in mind has been something very important for me. Setting up my own corporation to run my transactions through and taking advantage of not only 401k plans, but Roth IRA plans and lots of other tax savings strategies that are designed to help you with savings is super important. A lot of agents, I'll agree with Seth, they don't know about this. We love to teach about these things because they're extremely important, right? It's not what you make, but what you get to keep that really has a gigantic impact on your life. And I heard a saying recently that I never really thought about in this way before, but it makes a lot of sense. It said that, that taxation is the #1 destroyer of wealth. So what's the point of making all this money in real estate if we don't get to keep it?
That's right.
So anyway, there's a lot of great strategies out there. We use a lot of them. We teach a lot of them. And we want to share them with all the people that we work with so that you guys get to keep growing, design your exit strategy, design your tax strategies so that you're maximizing the amount of money that you get to keep and spend on your business, on your family, and for yourself.
Absolutely.
It's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more, and I just want to give it back to you, Don. Thank you for the 2 minutes.
No, well, Doug, you, of course, you're one of our mentors, and you're one of the small minority of professionals that did set up a self-directed retirement account. And so you walk your talk. You're also one of the most successful real estate investors that we have in our organization. So you make a fantastic mentor for those people that are inclined in that respect as well. And so, appreciate having you being part of our team, being a mentor, and undoubtedly making a great difference for a lot of people. Okay, so I'm going to leave you guys with 3 action items. Number 1, I want you to get with the mentor that has invited you to this call. And I want you to work on that preparation that we talked about, your database, that market knowledge, and the alignment of the professionals. I want you to be studying. Of course, you may just have gotten your license, or you're in the process of getting your license. If you have not signed up for a course, talk to your mentor. We can probably get you a discount coupon for one, 20-30% off. And if you can provide evidence that you have embarked on your licensing course, we will also allow you to come to our Pro Insight productivity training, which occurs every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific. So again, just let your mentor know that you'd like to attend those and that you are in your course so that you qualify to join us there. There's no cost or obligation to that at all. And then get that launch checklist done so that the day that you get that license, you have your database in order. We can import it into our contact management system. You have your professional relationships, and you're one of the most knowledgeable professionals, at least in your little part of the world, so that you can speak with confidence and you can provide an extraordinary level of service. And with that, I'm going to wish you guys a very nice evening. I thank you for taking the time to be with us, and make it a great day and an amazing career.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Don.